Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2 of Let's Play Europa Universalis for MEIOU and Taxes, the Teutonic Order, and one of you guys that said I don't have to say MEIOU every time, but when you've been around and played the game, or you've played since EU3, it will always be MEIOU. There is no MEIOU, it's MEIOU. It's just the way that we always pronounce it, the people I know, like, so it's just the way it's gonna be. I ain't changing for no one. I'm gonna be that grizzly old man, I refuse to change. So let's have a look. Stability and national. So let's have a look at assessing the stability of the Teutonic Order. From here we can assess our attempts to further increase the stability of our regime and Teutonic Order at large. Our administration is consistently working towards this effort, and each year we produce a total of 10 stability points, modified by our stability cost modifier. The higher your stability above 0, the more points it costs to improve your stability. Going from 0 to 1, 0 to 1 costs 150, 1 to 2, 200, and 2 to 3, 300. We can also take numerous policies to improve the rate of stabilization, all of which can be found in the policies menu. So currently points per year 19.51, yearly multiplier 1.951, current stability points 48.97, stability points threshold 150, total population 342,879, rural population is 329,000, that we've got 13,000 urban and then 17,000 upper, country urbanization is at 3.9%. And there's a lot of information here. Discretionary expenses. Oh, shit. 1 minute. Fuck. Okay, so development level. Teutonic gets development level 3 average until the end of the game. Court level is respectful court level 3. Education level 4 average. And culture, our powers by per population is currently too low to have an out. Fuck me, that's bad. And we have no urban officers and the plague tracker. No plagues currently occurring. So, estates of the realm. Assessing the estates of the Teutonic Order. The estates pay a contribution of taxes, levies, and tribute to the state, with the amount dependent on a variety of factors. These include privileges, their loyalty, and their level of influence compared to the state bureaucracy. If their loyalty is high, they will devote themselves to a state that guarantees their interest. If it is low, they will actively try to avoid supporting a state they despise. Such estates can be forced to cooperate by a powerful state bureaucracy relative to their own strength. Always watching for any change in their own position within the realm, if the power or wealth of the estate shifts, their loyalty to the state will soon follow. They will not care for the reason of why their popular position has changed, they merely know that their interests were not met when you're under your rule. The estates will give their loyalty to a state that grants them strength. To those who do otherwise, they will hold no love. So we have effective attack rates. So those are our tax rates right there. Loyalty and influence form just none, so that's fine. The court. The royal court. The grandeur and prestige of a country is oftentimes inseparable from the splendor of its royal court. Aside from naked displays of wealth, elements of a nation's court include artists, intellectuals, entertainers, opulent feasts, towering palaces, grand galas, verdant gardens, and much, much more. A Spartan court, while it may not truly reflect the true wealth of your country, can leave both foreign dignitaries and domestic aristocrats uninterested or unwilling to remain engaged with their sovereign. A magnificent court which dazzles its visitors, however, will reap incalculable diplomatic benefits. So important are courts as an instrument of governance that the court costs are often only rivaled by the cost of the military. Aside from improving your court via yearly funding, your capital building will give roughly half the maintenance cost towards your improving your court. A higher court level will also slightly improve your loyalty and stability gains from the semi-random events which improve loyalty. So our court level is 35.781. Don't exactly know what that means. Change last year was down. Court wealth is 30.512. Current yearly funding is none. Yearly bonus from capital building is none. So we have a respectable court. We can increase annual funding, decrease. A grant a one-time stipend. Ask advisors for help. The court level has changed. Are currently enabled. So we're going to ask advisors for help. Delegating court funding. The council of advisors and minstrels can set court funding for you according to the court level you would like to achieve. Use a +1, -1 options to fine-tune the court expense. Every proposed court level includes a funding buffer so that the growing population of our country's expansion do not make the court level drop. Large, passive countries can save money with a smaller buffer, while aggressively conquering countries should consider increasing the buffer. The advisors and ministers will set court payments to be just above the requirement for your chosen court level. Starting with the next government census, this should occur in the year at most. So current spending is court 1. So if I was to go to court 3. So if we go to court 3. That's fine with me. So let's back out of that. And we'll exit that. I'm going to leave the game paused for a minute. So that's... where does that come out of our income? Because it does. I would like to know where. Don't actually know. Let's have a look at... let's continue to look through the estates. Education. The education of the Teutonic Order. From this office, we can examine the state of our education. Our education level increases over time, the rate of which depends on a combination of our national education endowment and the strength of our universities. However, our education level naturally decays over time if we do not continue to educate our people, because all citizens eventually grow old and die, taking the knowledge with them. The higher our education level, the more easily we can develop a national identity, ideas, maintain a military knowledge gained in the field, and improve our technology. So our education level is 31, changed last year, was up by 1%. Total endowment 148. Annual church contribution is 2. Annual state funding is 0. Data about our students and universities. From this office, you can assess how many of our upper classes are studying domestically abroad, and how many foreign students we have studying at our universities. In addition, we can view the effect of our universities have on endowment via the education multiplier. So we currently have a national education multiplier of 1. Native upper class pops staying in the Teutonic Order, blank. Foreign, 0. Upper class pops without university access, 1.59. Okay, so that's back. I'd like to. So I asked advisors for help. Delegate an education fund, basically the same. So if I want to educate, so actually back a minute. What is my education level? Ludwig is now our leader. Our ruler is dead. Very well. Our education level is level 4, so let's exit that and go to the education. And that's advisor for help. We'll keep it to level 4, so that's you fucking hell. Let's quickly go to the end of the month. I want to see where my income comes from. Oh yeah, we need so we're gonna get a local noble again, I think this time, just this once. No, income hasn't left my we have no money has left here, so I am interesting, and so I'm pretty sure one of you guys is going to tell me I've done something stupid there, but that doesn't seem to be a problem. Anyway, let's go to timber management. Timber management. The timber is one of the main raw materials for shipbuilding, and wood is more commonly used in the construction of cities, especially in some civilizations as Japan. Its trade is one of the most important around the world, and is vital for the naval prowess. The more ships will be big. The more the ships will be big, the more a good supply of wood will be necessary. This page will give information about your state situation. So we yearly produce 6, 5 from country, 1.3 from vassals. Yearly consumption is really low. Shipyard consumption is low. Civil and pirate navy consumption is low. State navy is low. So we kind of. So what's our forestry policy? Here is the page where you can manage the forestry laws of your country. These ordinances will increase the amount of timber and wood produced by your provinces. They can be necessary if you have a lack of timber, but if your general education is really small, population production is really small, they could be counterproductive. There are 3 ranks of law: the forestry ordinance, the forestry chart, and the forestry code. The legalism institution is necessary, and each step needs an amount of centralism. So I'm just going to not touch anything like that. State forest. State forest. Here is the page where you can manage the state forest. These forests can be unique ones: Venice, the Montero is Travixio, Portugal, the area in Estremodia, or France, Traconis in Barbones. For the others, you have to use the provincial target button in the province where you want to build a national forest. The province have a wooded biome regardless of its terrain features, a forested biome regardless of its terrain features, it has a hilly terrain regardless of its biome apart from desert, or is one of the coasts, less than 50 autonomy, and you'll need to fill administrative and naval idea groups with some centralization. You cannot have more than 1 state forest, unique or not. Okay. Wasn't finished there, mate. Just saying. Trade options. Black Forest. In some specific case, you can't trade inland for timber, as Holland or any of the other Rhine estuaries. You can start a great timber trade with the faraway Black Forest Oh, you can trade inland for trade. You can start with the faraway Black Forest region. You will need the full naval and trade groups. In this page, you can also choose your ports for timber trade. It's mainly dedicated for countries that do not want to buy timber if they need it. So there's nothing here we can do that. And more information. Here's some information about timber production. Provinces are producing timber according to many factors as terrain type, the best forest tag is, then woods, jungle, and finally hills, mountains, coastal. In a minor way, the lumber trade good is also producing more woods in accordance to the plantation building rank. Finally, some specific modifiers like state forest are producing woods. A coastal province will have a slight better production because of the transportation, and autonomy of the province is decreasing it. Vassals' colonies are providing half of their production to their overlord. Consumption. Consumption of a navy is country is calculated upon 3 factors: the state navy, your actual navy, the pirate navies and shipyards, civilian consumption. The more you will advance in diplomatic technology, and the more ships will consume timber. The more you will have, will have heavy ships, and the more your fleet will consume timber. The cities also consume wood, and especially for civilizations that like to build a lot with wood, as Japan. Continental trade. There is continental trade for the lumber. To be able to buy, sell it in, you need the idea merchant venture or Seahawks, the legalism institution, not to be blockaded, and to have your ports opened. In the 14th century, the demand for timber is very low, and therefore price opportunities of selling are low. The more the demand will be high compared to the offer, and the more the trade will be profitable. Okay, so I feel like I've learned some things right there. So every province has like a timber production and whatnot. So it's, well, every province has a certain biome. Like this has a good production. I don't know where I find that, but I'm pretty sure it said it was down here somewhere. No, it's not down there. Yep, I have no fucking clue where the fuck that. Nope, none. It's not that one. Not province history. Interact with province. Economic detail. Yep, fuck knows where it is, but let's go back to looking at the state stuff. Dispatch runners. Dispatch runners. Here you can dispatch runners across your realm to send out your will. Warning, this can cause your system to crash. If your system is not up to date, make sure you save your game and select the first option. If your country does not have too many harbors, however, the second option will be better visualize the system. I have no intention to send. Does that, by crash systems, does that mean crash my game? Oh, like excess. So visiting the burghers. The burghers estate represents city dwellers in their interest. While they do not command many soldiers or own vast tracts of land, they tend to aggregate at the crossroads of wealth, making them far wealthier than the other estates given their size. While excellent allies to have in peacetime, boroughs will become very displeased if you fight offensive wars that lead to high war exhaustion, and it is bad for business and prosperity. So the treasury is 5 gold, annual income is not much, power in Teutonic order is 3.2%, and granted, provinces privilege grant is 4. Okay, we'll look through that later, so let's look at the greater nobles. The greater nobles consist of nobles in your realm that exert significant rights and privileges relative to the crown, making them a force to be reckoned with. Because of these special rights, they are able to behave more autonomously and thereby seize a large percentage of state income for themselves as opposed to the crown. A strong estate of greater nobles tends to behave as a unified bloc to expand their interests, and can therefore be a powerful ally or a fierce enemy. By actively siding with the great nobles and marginalizing their power, a prudent ruler will be able to demote greater nobles to lesser nobles, giving the crown more control. If you choose this path, however, be prepared for significant resistance. So they have currently 100 gold, annual income of 20, and maintenance of 1.8, and provinces power in the Teutonic is 35% among landed estates. And they currently have 1 regiment in reserve, 1,000 men in reserve. Lesser nobles. The lesser noble estates consist of nobles in your realm which are marginally in right and privileged relative to the crown. While they do seek to advance their interest and clout, they are much easier to manage than the greater nobles and are easier to keep under the crown's thumb. The concerns of the lesser nobles will revolve around improving the holdings in their respective provinces, as well as possibly promoting themselves to greater noble status. You can use this fact as leverage with the lesser nobles, giving them promotions at times when you need them to shore up your nation's finances or stability. So they're basically like half as rich. And quickly, stability and national quota. That's not what I want to look at. Estates of the realm. No, it's not it either. Is it the core? Pretty sure it's not the core. Yeah, I don't know where the fuck it is. Okay, so let's look at tribals. The tribes consist of people who often live on marginalized land, or have earlier forms of local decentralized governments. Because the organization of their societies rely more on personal relations rather than the rule of law, they can be difficult to control, and any gains in loyalty will fade with time. A province controlled by the tribal estate will pour most or all of its wealth into the people of the tribe itself and disposable goods. What this means is tribal estates have very mediocre growth in development, but can sustain a sufficiently higher levy per capita than other estates. Because tribal estates have mediocre development and often on marginal land, they will much more frequently defer to warfare and looting as a means of economic enrichment. This also means that the easiest way to make your tribes happy is to have them participate in wars that yield significant loot. Unfortunately, this also means that the best way to upset them is to bring them to wars to waste their resources. All wealth that is normally generated in a tribal province goes directly to the tribal estate. You can move a tribal estate away from tribalism and towards nobility if you institute various rules to restrain and contain their activity and direct it towards economic objectives. So we've read everything I've read everything I can right here, right now. So I feel slightly smarter about what the fuck's going on, but at the same time I have no fucking clue what's going on. Hungary just broke their alliance with the Polish though, which is interesting. So someone told me it said I should do this, and I'm just gonna take their word for it and do it. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna let them do it. I trust you guys. So, actually, no, I don't trust you guys. Choose policy regarding our vassals. Vassal policies. Below is a list of actions you can take towards your vassal. You can take such a decision once per monarch. Know that it can lead to an increase of your vassal's liberty desire. Vassal integration process is affected by years of vassalage, vassal development under 100, being centralized, vassal of related culture, admin tech level, have the Money Coining Act policy active, have the Vassal Integration Act policy, or Full Sovereignty Act. Vassal development over 200, being decentralized, vassal of different religion, not being a monarchy, being ourselves a subject nation. So no changes in any of them, and it should end in a couple of 100 years. So I would like to get Danzig, so let's meet with Hilbert and Muntz, Syndic of Danzig. Fact is currently infiltrating the assimilation of Danzig. Given its development, Danzig's base integration timeframe is 40 years. Our centralization-decentralization slider positions us on 25% lower. Danzig's Prussian culture 10% quicker. Our admin tech level 10% quicker. 10% quicker every 10 admin tech levels. Being a monastic order 3 times lower. Assimilation at 3.65%. Provide no changes. It should end in... Oh, provided no change, it'll end in 139 years. You can only negotiate tighter bonds once per lifetime. Negotiate a tighter bond. Owenson from Helmut. The Syndicate of Danzig has responded positively to our request for a better integration of their bureaucracy. So let's have a look. So if we look at them now... They are... Doesn't say anything. So let's go to the end of the month and see if anything changes. Because I still have literally no idea what the fuck is going on. Nope, nothing seems to have changed. Poland has fabricated some claims, and I don't have any allies, so this could be a very short Let's Play if we got our head kicked in. Honestly, I did not think about... And Sweden would like an alliance. Let's get an alliance with Sweden. I honestly did not think about the repercussions. I honestly just didn't think about that about the vassal system and whatnot. I just didn't click in my head. So like improving these guys' opinions really means fuck all. So, yay! I still know nothing. But, hey, at least we learned something, at least. Why would I support my vassal's independence? That sounds fucking retarded. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have enjoyed this part. We haven't made much progress, but we learned a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next part. See you guys then.